Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Tom's podcast channel here today. Today I'm going to talk about something a bit different and something we've not really spoken about much on the channel, and that is DC. Now, James Gunn has just dropped a 5-minute video essentially explaining his first part of his new DC universe with Peter Safran, as well as explaining kind of how everything else links in and what does and doesn't. So first of all, my thoughts. I'm interested, certainly, as someone that's not a DC fan in terms of the comics or the DCEU. Really, I thought the only really good stuff in the DCEU was Shazam and the Suicide Squad, James Gunn's Suicide Squad, I might add. I'm not even forgetting a film in there, though. But I did enjoy The Batman by Matt Reeves, and we've actually found out how that sort of stuff links in as well, so let's get talking about it. So first of all, he essentially said that everything will be linked in some shape or form, whether it be actually in the mainline DC universe or it will be called Elseworlds. Now, what we do know is in Elseworlds is the Batman, Joker, Todd Phillips' Joker, and also Teen Titans Go. I'm not saying Teen Titans Go, I can't lie, but I didn't like Joker, but I loved the Batman, and I'm happy that essentially what he's done here is he has allowed for it to kind of continue without confusing people. I think that's the main thing, is we don't want 3 different versions of Batman running around, and we certainly don't, really want to have multiverse stuff with Marvel doing that at the same time. It allows everything to kind of link, and I think that's important for DC because, I think with everything that people like, people love the Batman, people love Joker. I'm in the minority there, I know it. So I think it's exciting for those to link, but not really link, but also leave the door open. Speaking of leaving the door open, it was announced that Shazam, Aquaman, Blue Beetle, and The Flash are all linked in with the DCEU plans, and that's really interesting because we all thought everyone was going to be recast. We know that Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, isn't coming back as Black Adam. And we know that we all know the Henry Cavill situation, what went on there, and we all know what's going on with Ezra Miller as well, which I won't get into. And even then, we also have the Zachary Levi situation as well. So much stuff going on at DC. But James Gunn did speak about this, and he said that essentially he's not going to fire Zachary Levi because he disagrees with him on a tweet. Yeah, essentially these will link in to the plans, which is interesting. I'm definitely excited for 2 of them, that being Shazam and Blue Beetle. Couldn't give a shit about The Flash. I know Michael Keaton's coming back, which is exciting, and there's going to be some kind of multiversal stuff, but I think that film's bridges have been burned because of Ezra Miller. And Aquaman, great. The first one was alright, and this one is probably going to be the same quality. But yeah, overall, I think it's cool that those films are still linking, and it also means that we don't have to disregard these films this year. It means as well that it's also a very smart choice by James Gunn, because it means these films aren't just thrown away to the side. Now then, the new stuff. Well, first of all, he did mention that animation and games are included, and it's not just TV shows and films. So the games are going to be linking into the DC universe. I think this is really smart. Again, he's probably beat Marvel to the punch there with that, which I think is great. So it's nice to have everything connected. I think it just also makes the marketability better. You have to play this game to feel part of a grander story. Hopefully it doesn't make them too important to the overall plot, but we'll see for sure. He also mentioned that characters can go from animation to live action, and vice versa. He also said the plan was to keep the same actors portraying them in both live action and animation, which is really cool as well. I think again, just make everything connected, make everything feel important. That's what DC need to do, because for years nothing has felt important to DC, in my opinion. So he said chapter 1 of this DCU will be called Gods and Monsters, and he named some interesting films and TV shows. Number 1, Superman Legacy, which is the one that he's writing on at the minute and will come out in 2025. Okay, I'm really happy with this. I think the decision to bring Henry Cavill back was fine. I didn't enjoy Man of Steel. I'm kind of gutted the way that it all went out with him getting the job, and then because of the James Gunn and Peter Safran takeover, that kind of got vetoed very quickly. And yeah, hopefully Henry Cavill can reappear as a certain James Bond maybe in the near future. He's certainly available, although he seems like he might be doing a Warhammer series, so that might stop him from doing that. Who knows? We also got The Authority, which just makes me think of wrestling, but no, apparently it's going to be an interesting series about people that think the world is a bit wrong and not going the way it should be. I know nothing about this IP, so I don't know anything about The Authority. And then we have probably the most interesting one, The Brave and the Bold, another Batman, so it's going to be different to the Robert Pattinson Batman. Again, 2 Batmans running around. By 2025, we might have our second Matt Reeves Batman movie, and this is going to be different. It's going to be The Brave and the Bold. It's going to be a team-up movie with Robin, which is something that we've been crying out for in films, because we already had Batman and Robin. And then they also did the kind of thing where Christopher Nolan kind of insinuated that Jason Gordon-Levitt was set up to be Robin, which is a bit like, yeah, okay, we didn't see it though, so meh. But this is exciting. I think it's going to be one of those things that hopefully gets me on the side of Batman, because in an extended universe, you need to have a Batman in it if you're DC. It's like doing a universe on Spider-Man, which Marvel did for a bit, but when they need to inject some energy into it, they put Spider-Man in there. And next up, Swamp Thing. Very excited about this. Yeah, it's a massive swamp creature. What more couldn't you like? Yeah, again, just exciting. I think they've chosen some really good films there to make some people you don't know about and some people you do know about, and that's what this DC should be. It should be about building different characters up so that we care about more people, which is what DC desperately need, because outside the Justice League, what did the DC universe before really introduce? Martian Manhunter, I guess. But actually, the Arrowverse, the better way of introducing us to the Green Arrow in television, as well as Supergirl and a lot of the Legends characters, as well as the infinite amount of rogues and villains that are on all those shows. Whereas actually the films kind of stuck to your main line very early on, which was a bit strange in the DC world, but they've rectified it. Then we have the HBO Max shows. That shows that HBO Max isn't actually going anywhere, which I was very confused about, because I thought it was on the brink of collapse after it's getting rid of everything. But we have Creature Commandos. Again, I know nothing about this, but I always like to get involved with things that I don't know. It's always exciting, I think, as a superhero fan who's seen so much superhero content. It's always exciting to see more and stuff that you're not expecting, and I certainly need another DC show to love, because I loved the Arrowverse when it was its prime, like the first few seasons of The Flash. Arrow was, I think, consistently probably the best show throughout, even though that had some very rough patches, and I stopped watching Legends and Supergirl because they just became unwatchable towards the end. But I am excited for the last season of The Flash, I might add, and I will be doing a podcast on that on this very channel. We have Waller, played by Viola Davis, which is great. I think that's exciting. I love Viola Davis in this role. In both the appearances, actually, she's probably the best thing about the original Suicide Squad movie that was made with Margot Robbie, Jared Leto, and but yeah, without question, Viola Davis is probably the characters keep going around it. We then have Paradise Lost, which is a very exciting show as well, about the Themyscirans, and it's kind of like Game of Thrones, he suggested, but with those lots. So again, exciting. I can't really comment on these because I don't know anything about them, which is always great. We have Booster Gold, who appeared at the end of Legends of Tomorrow, and that was it. So I don't think it's the same actor, obviously it won't be, but I've never seen this character because I've heard a lot of cool things about him. He said it's like imposter syndrome, but as a superhero, which is always great. Always love things like that, and kind of like Peacemaker, I suppose, but a bit different. And finally, we have Lanterns, which is going to be about the Green Lantern Corps, which is very exciting. That's probably the character with the least amount of development in the mainline films and TV shows that you would expect from the Justice League. You would really think that they would focus on more. The most we got was John Diggle in the Arrowverse, and then that got vetoed as well. So yeah, it's an interesting time for sure, and I think that what we need to see with the show is to really get people on the side of Green Lantern, because I think mainly people think of that Ryan Reynolds version, which was dog shit. So I think to get them on side with all this wouldn't be a bad shout. Apart from that, though, that's everything, and I have to say I'm very excited about this, and I think it's definitely probably most likely calmed down some DC fans. I know some people were a bit confused and concerned when all the stuff with Henry Cavill was going on and all that, and I think it also allows the fans of the DC universe who are out there, which is already existing, to continue to make to keep their universe going. So anyway, guys, please do like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys all soon. Take care. Bye bye.